This is Hamish and Andy's Remembering Project.
The 3rd of May, and
yes, May the 3rd be with you.
super popular.
Yep.
A lot of great options. A lot of great options in the 3rd of May. Can I just start with one? I tried to get 2 pieces of audio for today.
Okay.
It's the first time I've seen something in an old run sheet, and I've gone, I want to get that because I'm positive it will be terrible.
Oh no.
But not even, it's the worst kind of terrible. Okay. Not even like, oh my God, that was the day where like nothing happened and it became a famous bad story. I mean, just like run of the mill, because I saw it was at 5:55.
Yep.
So I was like, we've just jammed in at the end of the show. Just perfunctory.
Yep.
So like boring, worse than terrible, boring. Like just.
May as well have played another song.
Should have. And actually, no, that's getting to be offensive because it did involve someone else. But when you see it, you go.
What year?
2007. That's why I can't get it, because we only have. Again,
this little vortex of.
It's like we have memory loss from 2007, and we only remember snatches.
Yep. There's a Bermuda Triangle where a lot of the audio went into.
The hard drive's been scrambled. Some's been defrayed. We don't have it all. Usually, for a lot of those shows in 2007, we only have the bits that made it into the highlights.
Yes.
Or possibly got replayed on a Saturday morning.
Because I believe, that's right. We had a Saturday morning show that we'd pull highlights from the week. And also in 2006, I think we uploaded singular breaks as a podcast. It wasn't like a longer podcast.
Because it might have been
we put up like 4 breaks from the show. We picked our 4 that we liked and put them up.
And I think you even had to go like the station website to play them as like WAV files or something in Microsoft Media Player or something. It was a very difficult system. So when I was like, okay, great, 3rd of May, saw this on the run sheet in 2007, emailed Marshy, who tries to find this stuff for us. Yep. And he said, I'm sorry, mate, it wasn't good enough, obviously, at the time to make the best of. And I went, I
what was it?
No doubt, because that's sort of, I mean, it's nothing terrible, but it was invite Dicko to the Spit Roast party. Right. So
Ian Dicko Dixon?
Ian Dicko Dixon from Australian Idol. And this would have been early days of Australian Idol too.
Huge.
Massive, right? Big name at the time again in the Australian television landscape.
Because then he jumped from Australian Idol to host My Kitchen Rules.
Big money.
It was actually called My Restaurant Rules at this point.
Good on
and
you,
it was
Mike.
the precursor to My Kitchen Rules.
Well done, Mikey. He jumped big money. That was the news.
Right, because
that was the big news at the time. He jumped to Channel 7 to host My Restaurant Rules. But it was the revamp of My Restaurant Rules because they'd already tried it a few times.
Yeah, you and I...
We went to the original.
The original in 2003 or 4, I'm going to say, started 4 because it was one of the first events Hamish and I got invited to as the Hamish and Andy TV show was about to come out.
So we were on Channel 7 with the Hamish and Andy TV show.
After 6 weeks.
It was about to come out. It was like a whack-a-mole. Only came out very briefly. Smashed on the head.
Disappeared. Without a trace.
Without a trace. But before it was, just when it was getting ready to come out of its burrow, in that moment, Annie, what was Annie's last name? Our publicist, Annie Tunnicliffe. Yeah. Lovely, lovely lady.
And when I say disappeared, Mike, we tried to contact Channel 7 to get the Hamish and Andy show, and they said they taped the Commonwealth Games over it or something. I said, that's what my dad does on VHS tapes.
Yeah, it was like they had one master copy and they were like, no one's going to need this. So
wow.
Early days, so back in Channel 7 days.
We went to...
So it was Annie Tunnicliffe's job to essentially take these 22-year-olds who no one had heard of, had no presence or canon of work.
No.
It's not like they had a legion of fans anywhere. No. So basically just take 2 nobodies, get them up to like nationally recognised status.
Yes, before the show launches.
In a couple of weeks. So it's like...
So we were trying to get us on the
radio shows
My Restaurant Rules finale just in the crowd as eating. So people go, we've...
and like did a similar thing with us in the tennis. We had to sit through like a whole match. So at the end they go, and there's Hamish and Andy, just shuffling of papers from the commentators. Yeah, good to see those guys in the crowd.
And we went to get a beer, and I got a call going, "Where is Hamish?" Because they had the allotted time, like between the games, and we had to be in our seats
like 10:30 at night to try and find me. So, one of the things they did was we got to go to the Melbourne restaurant for My Restaurant Rules while it was in its like hype stage, and we were able to like pass the queue to get in. And I remember us just going, we were like amazed that we because we're like, this is probably going to be free.
Yeah.
Like, this is
We're
a
gonna
free
have
dinner. We're going to have a free dinner.
And the owners / contestants from Melbourne came past and were
how's
really
everything?
nice to us. How's everything going?
We're like, this is a bar. This is Studio 54, baby. And then we were like, let's have quite a lot to drink because we were so excited. And then we found out that they didn't have a liquor license.
No.
So they were like, because they had to make money, they had to make like a business model, and it was all virgin cocktails and stuff. So that kind of wrapped that night up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But anyway, many years later, Channel 7 tried again. Dicko was the host.
Yes.
And so 2007, this break of inviting Dicko to the Spit Roast Party, the only reason I wanted to listen to it because I'm like, you know how it would go, right?
Just, hey, would you like to come? I'll check my diary.
Just a fake
He's
invite.
He's obviously said yes, he'll come through a publicist.
Yeah, Channel 10 publicity's making him go.
Yep.
And we go through this thing of,
Pretending,
inviting him.
And then we go, oh, wow, the invite list is getting crazier and crazier. And you go, yeah. I guess it is.
I mean, it was a funny system, the old have an event, but then spend 2 weeks inviting people on air to it who had already agreed through back channels that they're like obliged to be there to sort of, and a lot of people, I really appreciated doing that. The older I get, the more I realise.
Oh, so grateful
people with
for them.
kids, people with like things to do would go and spend the afternoon doing that for us. So
and we have a Logie every year, a spit roast party to celebrate the Logies, which
So
was
really
turned into a really fun event for us.
It was super fun, but like really grateful that people bothered to do it.
People can't even be bothered to go to the Logies,
let alone a radio show to promote the Logies.
Yeah.
Anyway, would have been great. Would have been great to hear us trying to keep the ball in the air there. Fast forward to 2010.
Yeah.
The 3rd of May 2010 was the day after the Logies. Must have been a Monday.
Wow.
And those shows were always traditionally quite hungover. But I don't remember it being one of our worst.
No.
I looked at the run sheet and I went, looks like we've got it
together.
putting together this show.
Because, Mike, we had a deal with our boss that we could have 3 hungover shows a year.
Yep.
And look, to be honest, on the most part, we were pretty professional the whole time. We loved the show and it wasn't that much fun to do hungover.
It was
'cause
just too hard.
It's just too hard. You wanted to jam-pack so much fun stuff in. So, but yeah, we'd pick them wisely and I think we invented the bell system post-Logies 1, which is what, if you couldn't be bothered speaking anymore, you were allowed to ring a bell. And Dave came in after that show and said, we won't be having the bell system ever again.
By the end of it, just sounded like Adelaide on the hour, just bells ringing everywhere. So the other great thing for 2007, not good enough to make the highlight reel, was Spider-Man. The new Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire was coming out that year, and that was a big, big film.
Yep.
And we had on the show live Sam Raimi, who was the director. So we couldn't get Tobey.
People would have tuned in for him.
I remember we didn't do many directors on the show.
No.
Unless it was a famous director like a John Favreau or someone
Ron Howard,
who was
M.
also
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
And like you, you someone that you knew.
Sometimes you had to take the director. It was like
that came as a package deal.
It's a package deal. He's like, okay, so you want the big star, you have to take the director. It was Steak Knives, and you're like, okay, throw him in. Yeah. Not going to use him, but
Have to
throw
have
him in
him.
because I want the bar mix.
So they didn't get Sam. They didn't make the thing anyway.